Hey YouTube, hey! So this week starts off with Brooke still up in the airplane, waiting to get to Ridge, trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening, why is he going to Aspen, because she knows that Taylor is in Aspen with Steffi, and she's trying to go and get her man back. So anyway, Ridge and Taylor are basking in their glow right now. They're just happy, and they've told Steffi that they're back together. They did a video chat with Thomas and told him that they're back together. So Ridge is making it official, telling Taylor that he wants to be with her and only her and not Brooke. Okay. So Taylor believes him again. You know, it took her a minute because she had him chase her all up and down the Aspen Mountains. So she, she tried to run from it. But of course, love gets you every time, right? So basically, at home, Thomas is talking to Eric and Donna about his parents. And of course, he's all for it. And Eric told him very certainly that he is for Brooke and Ridge, their relationship. He's for their relationship. Of course, Donna's going to be for her sister, 100%. So he's sitting there coy, as he does, and he's listening to them, and he's telling them, how he feels, and that his parents belong together, and, that they're finally going to be together. And they're just looking at him like, yeah, okay, we'll see. And because everybody knows that Ridge always goes back to Brooke. How many times do I have to say this in these videos? It always happens because we all know. So he's, telling them, that he knows that they belong together and they're going to be together. And, Donna is looking at Thomas and saying and thinking to herself, probably that something is wrong. He's really obsessing over this. And he is. He's obsessing over it. Because I already told you, I think that he's the one that did this recording of Brooke. And so that's just a little bit that happened on The Bold and the Beautiful today. But I did want to mention that little Douglas, he had that recording on his phone, and he played Eric's voice, saying that he didn't have to do his homework. And so I was like, I knew it. Didn't I tell you? I told you. It's that recording. Somehow Thomas must have recorded Brooke saying things and pieced the recordings together. It has to be that, because how else would he get, her voice and all that information on there, and it's actually her voice. So that was interesting to see that recording. They brought that back, and I already knew it. So they brought that back and showed us that, he's recording people. And then another thing is, Brooke finally gets to Aspen at the very end of the episode. She finally gets to Aspen, and she sees Ridge outside. She sees Ridge outside, and, she isn't happy, to see him that he's there. And she was telling him, it's not over for us. And he's just kind of looking at her. He's basically made up his mind, but he made up his mind under false pretenses, of course. So you can't really make a real decision under false information. You can't. So she was like, no, it's not over for us. And, she was just in disbelief. And I didn't feel sorry for Brooke, though. I really didn't. I didn't, because Brooke has a tendency to always play sad about stuff. But she's in a lot of these situations because of herself. She sabotages herself, her own life. And not saying this time she sabotaged, and not saying the time that she drank that she necessarily sabotaged herself, but just all through the years, you know, the cheating and the mishaps and all of that, like, anybody would get tired of that. So, you know, Ridge is at the point where he's tired of it. And, you know, it's going to be another 30 years that they'll go back and forth because, like she said, it's not over. Their love story is not over. You know, it's going to be continuous. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings. I will do another video probably on Wednesday, and we'll see what happens. Okay? Have a great day, guys. Bye. Hey YouTube, so I decided to do a second part of it because I wrote down some notes as I was watching some more of The Bold and the Beautiful. I didn't really want to miss anything because I feel like I always miss something every single time that I'm bringing you guys the information. So I'm going to start writing down notes and you know, the real good points of what was happening. So these next couple of days I watched the episode, and I'm just adding to the video that I've already done in the car. I'm normally in the car a lot, so I do a lot of the videos in the car as I'm driving, or, you know, like you've seen, I was sitting in the parking lot. So I want to you know, talk to you guys while I'm on the road for an hour and a half, you know, going into coming from work. So that's the majority of my time. When I'm not at work, I am driving. So by the time I get home, I'm wiped and I don't want to talk to anybody. So here we are. That moment when Thomas says Brooke will be hurt, but she will find another guy. I cracked up laughing. I was like, tell me your response wasn't nodding your head saying, yeah, she'll find another guy. Because Brooke can't be alone. She has to have a man in her life. And that's been the majority of her life, is having a man. And most of the time she's running after Ridge, but sometimes she's taking somebody else's man. So she always has to have a man. So who do you think will be the lucky man that's next in line if Ridge is really serious about staying with Taylor or going back to Taylor and leaving Brooke, which a lot of us are skeptical that he's actually going to do it, but he has in the past left Brooke and gone back to Taylor. So how many of you think that he's actually going to leave Brooke? Raise your hand. How many people think that he's actually going to stay with Brooke? Raise your hand. How many people think that she's just gonna go off to another man soon after Ridge decides he's gonna stay with Taylor, regardless of the outcome of the tape? Because I think that eventually, of course, he's going to find out that it wasn't Brooke, but will he still stay with Taylor? That's the thing. I said before in the other taping of the video that it's under false pretense, and you can't make a decision under false pretense. So I have a couple of actual good options for Brooke right now, because, you know, Bill is around all the time and we don't know where Katie is. Katie is off doing her thing. Bill's youngest son, I forget his name. He hasn't been in the soap for a long time, and he's off to school somewhere. So how many people think that it's going to be Bill, that she's going to go back to Bill? She's already betrayed her sister once about her husband, and I believe she'll do it again. She'll go back to Bill if she, you know, wants to, if she gets that chance or she desires that, which I don't know how much she really desires that, because I don't really believe that their love was real. I really don't believe that. However, Brooke and Liam have been being chummy, talking a lot, discussing the issue with Hope and little Douglas, and, you know, how they're on the same team. They don't believe that Douglas should be over there all those extra days. He was only supposed to be there one day. And also, you know, Hope going over there because she wants to spend time with her son. And she's been taking her daughter over there, which that's interesting that Liam would allow that to happen. However, I'm wondering if they're going to go there, because they've already done that before with Hope's boyfriend in the past. I think she was in high school or graduated from high school, going to college or something like that. But she was still a teenager, but she wasn't 20 yet, and I don't think she was actually in high school. I think she had just graduated, and she had a boyfriend, Oscar, something like that. And well, that's going to be in another video. I'll tell you about that in another video. Basically, she had sex with her boyfriend at a party. I'm going to do a breakdown of Brooke, and I'm going to talk about it. And then, you know, she's not shy about being with her daughter's men. She did it the same thing to Bridget with Deacon. That's how she ended up with Hope. And I can see it happening with Liam. I don't know if it's going to be another drunken night. I don't know what's going to happen, but it happens. It happens to Brooke, at least. It happens to Brooke. Would never happen to me, but it happens to Brooke. I don't even have any daughters. Only have a son, and if I had a daughter, that would not happen to me. So anyway, that's what I think. I think it's either going to be Liam or it's going to be Bill. Those are the only two that I can think of that she could possibly have a fling with if Ridge doesn't come back to her. That's going to be very interesting. I think that for Ridge, Taylor is a safe, balanced, predictable human being for him. And I think that's the reason why he always goes back to Brooke, because Brooke is the total opposite. She's drama, she's spontaneous, she gives him a headache, you know, she sends his blood pressure up, she's complete opposite. So I think that he likes that drama. I think that he's drawn to that drama. She's exciting, I guess, to him. And Taylor is not exciting. She's grounded. She's settled, you know. And so that makes a big difference, especially when it comes down to mixing personalities. And that's the reason why I believe over 30 years that Ridge continues to be drawn to Brooke, is because she is all of that. She's exciting for him. Taylor is more like home. She's more, you know, stable. She's, you know, like I said, predictable and balanced. And sometimes people need that, you know, so I think that's why he goes back and forth between the two of them. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Steffi is doing her best to talk to her mom and tell her everything's going to be okay. Dad's not going back to Brooke, like just really trying to calm her. And they're both trying to do that for each other, because Taylor is like, well, Ridge has made his decision. I believe him. I just have to see what he's going to do, if he's really going to follow through with it. And you know, believe that he's going to do what he says he's going to do. And, you know, Steffi, she's like, Dad can't go back to Brooke. He can't do this to us again, and I can't go through that again. So they'll find out. They'll find out to see actually what he does. He's standing strong right now, but he also hasn't said a word. And so the very end of one of the episodes, we saw Thomas with his cell phone and Brooke's voice, and he speak into the cell phone and it plays back what he said, but in Brooke's voice. Here we go. Thomas. Yes, it was Thomas. That's who called CPS. That's who sent the recording or recorded it. It seemed like it's voice activated, so as he speaks into it, it's someone else's voice that comes out. Because if you saw it earlier in the episode, Douglas almost got in trouble because Thomas looked like he was getting flustered, because he wanted to play and not do his homework. And you saw a little bit of, you know, the strict side of Thomas come out and say, no, you have to do your homework. And that's when Douglas played his grandpa, Eric Forrester, saying he didn't have to do his homework, which was funny. I thought that was funny. So that's it today, guys. I wanted to cut in and give a little bit more on the episode since I didn't upload the video yet. I wanted to add more to it. So there you have it. It's getting juicy. Have a good day, guys. Bye.